Welcome to the 5K5. I am Mark, and I am joined by Lainey. For those of you who don't know her, do you want to introduce yourself and kind of what your role is and a fun fact about you?
Yeah, so my name is Lainey. I'm a paid media specialist here at 5K. So I do ads for our clients on paid media platforms like Google and Meta. And a fun fact about me is this is our third time trying to record this episode.
Yes, it is. The camera did not like us the past two times. So this is our third time in what, like 2 weeks or so?
Yep.
Something like that. But here we are. So we're going to be talking about the battle for consumer attention. As businesses grow and want to get more, clients or people buying their products, it's a big battle between themselves and, their competitors about like how to, get in front of those, select people that they want to get in front of. So you have some insights from, your past, your history, the stuff that you're working on. So let's just start right into it.
Yeah, so with the battle for consumer attention, you're not just competing against your competitors anymore. You're competing against everyone in the same digital advertising space for the attention of the consumers. Attention is a scarce resource, and the psychology of how a human decides what to give attention to is it makes it really hard to actually catch someone's attention. So we're going to be going over ways to grab the person's attention and actually sustain their attention throughout your ad. And it's a bit trickier than you might think right away, because some people really want to make their ads feel and look premium and like heavily edited. But as we'll talk about later, that is not the way to go exactly.
All right. Do you think it used to be the way to go?
I think it depends on the platform. So if you're doing a TV ad, of course you want it to feel premium and big. That's where I feel like that fits in really well. But for social media, I don't believe it's the case anymore.
Alrighty. Awesome. So, okay, platform dynamics. I like to call them the three big boys. So you want to talk about them?
Yeah, so for your short form video platforms, you have TikTok, you have Instagram, and you have YouTube. So Shorts, Reels, and TikToks are basically your three main ones, since they all have different names. So for TikTok, TikTok is the home of virality and participation. That's where you're going to get your most user engagement with your content. People like to comment, respond to the comments on the TikToks, as well as the videos can now be long form on that platform, whereas on other platforms, they can't be as long.
Really?
They used to be much shorter on TikTok. Remembering when TikTok first became a thing, it was like the pioneer of like these really short form videos.
That's what kind of made them, what they are today, really.
Yeah. And now they can be up to 10 minutes long.
Dang.
And so that's really interesting. And you want to focus on making content for TikTok ads that feels like it was generated by the users of that platform.
Okay.
So it should feel very authentic. Like we call it UGC content, user generated content. It should feel like peer content. So like a normal TikTok that you would see every day does best as an ad on there.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I feel like the people who are scrolling through and, are interested potentially in your product, they're going to be thrown off if it's like a pristine, short video of like the product versus what they're, actively seeing and looking through.
Yep. And then for Instagram, aesthetic matters more on Instagram. So you can add a little bit more premium feel and editing to your ads there. But still for Reels, a lot of the content is from TikTok. So it would still be really good to keep that user-generated content feel, but you can edit a little bit more in Canva, add some fun animations, add some fun edits, and make it feel more aesthetic.
Okay.
The brain is really hard to grab attention. It has a pattern sensing mechanism. So if something falls into a recognized pattern, if the brain immediately clocks something as an ad, it will be like just a really quick scroll by it. I do that a lot when I'm scrolling through TikTok. I will barely even give something a second of my time before I scroll. If it doesn't grab my attention in that first second, then I will pass right by it. And this is why hook first architecture is important for your ads, because you want that first second to really matter and grab their attention, break any patterns that are going on in their mind that might indicate that your content is an ad. And once you got their attention, and you have to sustain it throughout that, and that about every, depending on the length of your video, 10 to 15 seconds, you have to change something in the scene to keep their attention, to keep that focus. And then you could slow down this pace of the edits later if you have a longer video, once you have their attention fully, to pull them through your content.
And so that's the psychological aspects of scrolling and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's incredible. So basically, you're saying, when, your consumer is going to be scrolling through your ads, they need to be grabbed by the attention right away within the first second, or else all hope is lost.
Mm-hmm.
And does it have to be something wild and crazy to grab their attention?
Not necessarily. Things that work really well as hooks are if you hit on a pain point right away, like if something is immediately relevant to them. So you say, have you ever struggled with blank blank?
Okay.
Or something like that. Or like a text overlay on your video that they read it and it grabs their attention right away, and they want to figure out what happens next. You just want to get them feeling like they need to know what happens next, or what you're going to say about that, either the audio hook or the hook on the top of the video.
Awesome. Now, you said that within the next, few seconds, it has to be switched up, changed up to kind of keep their attention. What does that look like?
You can consistently remind them of what the payoff of the video will be by reiterating your hook, just to keep them, just to keep their attention grabbed that entire time, and that will help them remember why they're watching the full video, because they want to find out this answer.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they do, the payoff is bigger, and if they know what they're waiting for, they're likely to stay longer. Okay,
yeah. Similar to, have you ever seen the short movies or whatever, but like the movie previews when you scroll through stuff, where it's like, it shows you the crazy climax of the movie for the first second, and then it goes back to, the storyline. So similar to that?
Yeah, like periods of action and then calm are like a really good flow for these short form videos, just to like keep with the flows of actions, since on these ads the traditional storytelling arc doesn't work.
Okay, yeah.
So it's always climax first. You want your climax first, and then you want to like roll down, and then you want to roll back up to grab that attention again if you get too slow.
Okay, yeah.
And then you just keep doing that arc over and over.
So we're in the holidays right now. People are going to be scrolling. Their mindsets are going to be different while they're, going through these, products or whatever they want to, buy. Their mindsets are going to be different because it's the holiday season. How do you suggest these, companies to change the way that they're running these ads in accordance to, that?
So right now the consumer mind is thinking altruistically, so they want to purchase gifts for somebody else, which is against what normally is they want to buy something for themselves. So you have to think of how you can convey your product as a perfect gift for someone. And a lot of the social media platforms with the short form videos are integrating shoppable ads, which you can buy something directly from. Like on TikTok, you have the orange cart, so you could tag a product on your TikTok and then immediately check out from there. And that just makes the product, that makes it seamless and really easy to pull them from the video to your product.
Okay, yeah.
And keep them in that same mind space of that purchasing mindset.
Do you think that headlines or overlay text right away saying something like, buy your significant other this, or ever wondered what your significant other wants for Christmas or something, is that helpful, or would you say different headlines, or like what would you think?
I feel like that is helpful. You also want to make sure your headline tells them how they will feel once they buy something.
Okay.
Or how their significant other will feel in this case, or whoever they're giving the gift to. You could say, make your significant other feel happy or whatever, something like that. Obviously more wordsmith than that. Because people like when they look at the content and can know how they're going to feel once they buy it, because that's kind of hard to visualize. So if you have them telling you how you should feel once you buy the product, then they know, I want to feel really good about my purchase. So that's
okay. What do you think about, so I don't know the term for it. I mean, I can only, this is not the term for it, to be clear, but like negative marketing, where it's like you're telling someone if they don't buy this, it's going to be a negative effect, or is that important as well?
Yeah, I would say that is important. That's like a risk aversion. So you tell them, if you don't buy this, this is what will happen to you. And that's a really good tactic to do on a landing page when you tell them what good will happen when they buy it and what will happen if they don't buy it.
Yeah.
And that works for short form videos as well, that just nailing both, so the brain wants to avoid risk and feel good about what they're buying.
Okay,
So,
yeah. And I mean, I guess to feel good about what you're buying, you got to solve a problem. And I mean, if you don't have a problem, that needs solving, that comes to your brain right away, then it's like, why would I, buy this?
yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. So, future proofing your, ads, your campaigns, your landing pages, all this stuff. Future proofing this for 2026, because we're coming into that new season. What would you say? Give some insight on how companies should future proof their ads and campaigns.
Yeah, so I would say that acting like a creator rather than an advertiser is the most important thing for these short form video platforms. You want to get in the mindset of the people that are creating content on that platform, which would be really good to get people to actually spend time watching the ad if they don't immediately clock that as an ad. And then also building up a content arsenal, having all of your videos pre-recorded. What we recommend is recording multiple hooks, but keeping the body of the video the same, so you can switch out those hooks and test multiple things.
Awesome.
And have a lot of content to test.
Awesome. So I do this every time. What is one thing that a business owner is listening in right now, or even someone on their marketing team, on their paid ads team, just in even someone in a similar role as you, what is your best advice to them that they can implement right now?
Best advice, I would say, is to really get into, like I said, recording all of your content, pre-recording all of that, and making sure you have a really large portfolio of videos to test. Testing a lot of different creatives will be really helpful in the long run.
Because, I mean, it'll help. So it'll help them go from a broad spectrum to kind of a more narrow working path that is working better than they expected.
Yep, and once you have more creatives, you'll likely see more success because there's more options for each platform to work with.
That's true. Awesome. Now, super quick, I have one more thing. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, specifically length. What do you think is different in length that needs to, the length of your ad versus in your TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube? Because I feel like a lot of people are using the same types of ads in each platform, hoping for the best. What would you say is good for that?
So for TikTok specifically, you want to entertain. So if your video doesn't entertain on TikTok, then it won't work. For YouTube, it's a little different. You want to inform on there.
Okay.
Utility is the most important thing. So you really want to hit on those product benefits and how they'll benefit the consumer really quickly. And Instagram is similarly about entertaining, as well as looking a little bit more upscale than a TikTok ad. So those are the three things that you want to keep in mind. Recycling the content does work sometimes, but there is content that does better on ads for different platforms. You just have to be aware of what the platform dynamics are for your specific audience and what they interact with.
Awesome. Lainey, thank you so much for joining. Listeners, thank you for listening to the 5K5. Join us for the next one.